they still make ships.
Yeah.
They still make ships.
They still they make ship parts now.
Ship parts.
Yeah, they make submarines mostly.
Okay.
There's also
You do video this?
I have shown that.
This is the warship that got the one that you've seen before that got sunk. The bell
one.
was off. Yeah.
Let's look if we can.
The size of the guns at the front and the back.
Yeah, let me look at all this there.
Can you find the bell? I wouldn't even know where the bell would be
Well,
located.
the people on this ship, where would they be?
Dead.
No, I mean, at the time when it was still working. Because I can't see any window around. Where's
No,
the
they
room?
don't have windows. On a warship.
I think that should be it.
Obviously, then the people obviously.
Oh, am I mistaken?
The crow's nest there. The people be up there.
Yo, ma'am.
Watching out with the binoculars, and they would be inside.
Hey, ma'am.
These guns here, they could sit inside them and stuff. They'd be around just to top and things. Sleeping. There's a bit inside, but obviously no windows. Yeah, but there's no windows. But they didn't. They did shift sleeping.
Okay, yeah.
I also think I found
Where the bell is.
Isn't it that there, right at the middle bit right there where I'm pointing to?
Possibly, I know it is around here somewhere.
Also,
Spotlights and things as well. So you can point the lights at the what they're aiming at.
wonder where the bell will be on it, guys. Wait on a minute. Also,
but don't look down, don't fall down there.
oh, it might be on this one or
Yeah,
something.
this is
1913.
Yeah, this is 1899. This is one of the first warships.
This one?
Do you notice? Yeah, because this is a newer one. You can tell because obviously there's more guns, there's no windows and stuff. This, it's pretty much like a pirate ship.
And also,
But look, this one also has the guns that stick out the side. Whereas
This
that
one
one's-
has, look at it here.
yeah, they've got them at the top, but this one has got very few.
also, if you want to see over there, what, guys? Furness Abbey. Nice. We'll go look at it.
Suited them well.
Nice.
Alright
The
then.
monks had been given the land by Stephen, Count of Boulogne, later to become King of England. But they didn't just get this valley. Stephen gave them much of the Furness Peninsula, complete with woods, fields, fisheries, mills, salt works and mines. Even by today's standards, Furness Abbey was very well off. 20 years after they arrived here, the monks, who are from the Savignac religious order, merged with the powerful Cistercians. The Cistercians had great influence across the whole of Europe. They specialised in trade and agriculture, and many of their abbeys became extremely wealthy. Furness was no exception. The Cistercians believed in silence and simplicity, an austere life based on working the land. So how did they get so rich? The answer lay partly in the two-tier system of monks. The choir monks were the elite. They worked in the fields in the morning, but then devoted themselves to prayer, study and administration. Like this monk from Furness, John Stell, who included a portrait of himself in one of the abbey's record books. The lay brethren, on the other hand, were the workhorses of the abbey. Many were illiterate peasants. They spent less time at prayer and far more time at work. They were the abbey's builders, farmers, miners.
Let me we had my mum
brewers,
walking right there.
The abbey grew in size and wealth, and the early wooden buildings were replaced by much grander ones built in this warm red local sandstone. There was a huge abbey church.
There was, but it was destroyed by King Henry VIII because he hated Catholics.
A chapter house where the business of the abbey was conducted. Dormitories, a hospital, kitchens, and even a warming house where a fire was kept lit throughout the winter.
Didn't know that.
But the influence of the abbey extended far beyond this valley. The Cistercians were pioneers in the science of improving land and making it more productive. This is Leith Mosses. Before the time of the Abbey, every winter it would become a boggy lake. But then the monks came along and drained it, and it became rich agricultural land. But the monks farmed and collected their food in many different ways.
Yeah, that is, don't it?
Here at Sandscape, they set up an oyster farm. And over there, on Walney Island, they built warrens where they raised rabbits for their meat. Walney Island
Guess
was the
they're
site
in a
of one of the
meeting
Abbey's
then.
fisheries, and a place where the monks caught wildfire.
Try not to laugh.
The Abbey also owned many villages, and isolated farms like this one, Sowerby Lodge, where some of the later buildings incorporate fragments from the ruined Abbey. And when the Abbey owned the land, it also had control over the people who lived on it. Each tenant had to pay an annual rent, or tithe, to the Abbey. The tithe was usually a combination of money, produce such as wheat, oats or sheep, and compulsory labour. And some of that labour went into building this, the dyke at Biggar, a massive bank of stone and turf that was intended to protect agricultural land from flooding by the sea. And whenever it needed repairing, the locals had to come along and help mend it as part of their tithe to the Abbey. If it sounds like the Abbey ran a dictatorship, then it was largely a benign one. In return for their tithe, local people got medical treatment, education, handouts for the poor, and all the benefits of the Cistercians' farming and business expertise. They also got law and order, administered by the abbot from his
Oh,
court
Dalton
in
Castle.
where wrongdoers were tried and disputes were
Yeah,
settled.
it's right next to
So the Abbey
the Dalton
wasn't
Church
just a
of the
religious
Bells.
community. It was in effect the local government, and it lasted
I want to go in
400
there
years.
once. They let you go in
So even as
sometimes.
the abbot was
Do they?
ensuring that the locals were law-abiding, the abbey was itself breaking the law.
No,
How was it breaking the law?
Peel Harbour is the best deep-water mooring in the area.
Yeah,
The Abbey
Beale
owned it.
Island. I've been
And
there
that's on
with
the
Gaz
island.
here
The Abbey
and
built
my
Peel
mum up
Castle,
there.
a kind of fortified
But some
warehouse.
chickens ate our food, didn't they?
The monks shipped out their products.
Oh, me and Gaz were gonna climb up the old spire off that.
One of the most
And
important
my mum went,
exports
don't
of
you
the
reckon
Middle
climb
Ages.
up there? My mum's such a scared person off stuff like that, isn't she?
she is
But
lad.
the abbey chose to ignore this. They also illegally imported wine from France, and one season supplied corn to a rebel army in Wales. And all
Okay.
this time, they were managing to avoid paying the full excise duty on all this trade. In other words, they were smuggling, but the abbey was powerful enough to get away with it. It had connections with the rulers of the Isle of Man. King Ranald of Man was buried at the abbey. And through the Cistercian order, it had links to other wealthy abbeys, and ultimately to the Pope in Rome. So how come the abbey ended up in ruins?
Because of King
The
Henry
final
VIII.
was King Henry VIII's falling out with Rome and the Catholic Church in the 1530s, and his command to dissolve or close down all the monasteries. But in fact, by then the monasteries were already in decline. We know from the records here at Furness that people were less willing to accept the absolute authority of the abbey. There were disagreements about the payment of tithes, arguments between the abbot and local tenants, and inside the abbey, power struggles, bribery and corruption. There was even talk of treason. Not surprising then, that when the formal dissolution finally took place in 1537, the lead roof was soon stripped and the abbey walls dismantled for building stone. It was only some 300 years later, in the 19th century, that the abbey was once again appreciated. But this time, it was for the romantic quality of the ruins and their setting. William Wordsworth, the Lakeland poet, knew the abbey very well and was appalled to find workmen building a railway through the grounds. The artist Turner, forerunner of the Impressionists, sketched here, and early photographers, such as Roger Fenton and Francis Frith, were attracted by the photogenic ruins.
Bigger than you
Today,
think,
the
isn't
valley
it,
is
mate?
Yeah.
calm and serene,
Much bigger than
and it's
you
very
think.
easy to imagine the monks going about their silent duties and prayers. But what we shouldn't forget is the
Take
other
Andrew
part
and
of the
Fred up
story.
there and let
The
them
land,
wander
the
around there
wealth,
as well.
Yeah,
the
let's
power
do
and
it
the glory
today.
that once belonged to
We'll
Furness
do that in a
Island.
bit of time, won't we?
Oh yeah.
Your mum's got the doctors and everything, but I'll tell you what,
But yeah, and that's it there. So what I'm gonna do now is show the rest of the things here. So there's another info here. Alright. Alright guys, here's the things I didn't show. So we have this HMS Dreadnought. Yo guys, this is cool. It's like a Sally. They've got a little Sally on there.
Oh no way, yeah. Ding, ding, ding,
A
ding,
little
ding, ding.
Sally for the Dell on the ship. There's a submarine there.
Yep. All good.
Yeah, you could kill this. They've
Medals as well.
also got all of these, and they've got this Dell up there. They've got all this on this clock as well. I'm actually wondering if it had chimes on it. Time clock. Yeah. Also, we've got all this here as well, guys. And another ship from an Orion. Ship spell from the Orion. This spell is from the Orient Steam Navigation Company passengers liner Orion, which was built and then launched at Barrow in 1934. Wow. And an old styled phone as well. And these old cups and the vase as well. And let's see this here. Not bad.
It was made by the foreman and workmen of
Oh look, an old cannon.
the ordnance.
That there, mate.
That looks like a Fortnite bullet.
Well, that was for, I read it before. That was used to when
These are guns.
things, you know, like
Yeah.
torpedoes were fired
Yeah.
at the ships. They'd fire that, right?
So they both blow up and nothing gets damaged.
It released tin foil, which then it disturbed the radar of the bullets coming towards the ship, and they'd veer off and miss it.
Oh, nice. But it does look like a Fortnite missile, don't you think?
Just you.
Also, if she's checking here. Yeah, this is an old crane there. Oh, look at that. That's BAE. That's actually BAE systems as well.
Yes, as well, isn't it?
That's actually what it looked like before. Yo, man, what do you think of this? An old model of BAE. Also, guys, we can't go right down to the exact bottom, but there is another floor below.
You can.
You can't
It's
go.
a cafe now, I've just looked over there.
What you mean?
Down them steps.
What?
You know about down there?
Underneath is somewhere you can go, but right at the bottom where those stones were, at the very bottom.
God, it's a cafe.
Oh, it was originally where that cinema bit was. Then it was BAE. Then it was a BAE thing. Is it? No way. No way, guys. That. Oh my god! And look at this. 50p to operate the model.
What's it do?
It's when I was here with school, when I was in Mr. Fothergill's class, Mr. Fothergill put it in it, and it's not that good, but you can do it if you want. Do it if you want, guys. I'll just tuck one in and I'll show you what it does. Also, guys, just let you know, this is going to be a disappointment. Because if you look what happened, put it in and look at it there. Look at it, see, it's not good at all, guys. See, it's not that good at all, is it?
Right, oh mate. I still wouldn't like to be on that.
Shows manoeuvres off it.
Yeah.
Not bad. But still not as good as you'd expect, right?
It's good enough, lad.
And it shows the statistic bit here.
It cost 12.5 million. Launch date 3rd November 1959.
Yeah.
Service speed 27.5 knots. Gross tonnage 41.923 tons. overall length 804 feet, passengers 688, first class.
Yeah.
Passengers 1,496, tourist class, and crew 899.
It says this mechanised model was donated by BAE Systems to the museum in 2008. It was previously displayed at Furness General Hospital.
Yeah, they do have them in the hospital. That's a lot of people on that. There's 2,200,
Yeah.
2,800, only 3,000 on that.
Yeah.
They're in there now.
Yeah. Yo, Gaz. Hey, Gaz. Would you like to go see downstairs now? Let's just see if this stops. Oh, another little model of a bell here. There's another little model of a bell here.
Where's the bell?
Right there on that bit. And we've got... Oh, it finally stopped.
Where's the bell?
Right there with that little wheel on, right there on display there, see? So we're gonna go see the downstairs bit now, guys. Have to relook at this bit quickly. Hey, ma'am. You know, ma'am. Ma'am.
1959.
Hey, ma'am. All it does is these go up like waves, and it just looks like it's going
The passenger ship.
like swaying.
This is just a cruise ship. It's one of the first cruise ships.
Yo, guys.
Yo.
Would you like to come and see downstairs now? Come on, we'll see the underneath bit.